Welcome to this presentation about the STEP straw bale training of European professionals. This is training, straw bale training, and earth and clay and a little bit lime training, which exists since 2017. It was a long time preparation of about 8-9 countries in Europe, which prepared together this program. And now we are able to offer this program in Europe since 2017. This training uses the ESBA program, so there is a grading for the whole training and certification. We have two certifications. One is the practical. For all the practical units, you get the directly grading and a certificate for practice. And the second one is for the theory. There's a final test at the end for the theoretical part, consisting of 8 modules or units. We come to these units a little bit later. And if you have both the practical part for 5 units and the theoretical parts for these 8 units, you passed the final test, then you are a certified straw bale builder in Europe, accepted by all these countries which agreed this memorandum of understanding. Step U1, Unit 1, is the introduction into straw and straw bale building. So we focus a lot about the material, straw itself, how, from which chemicals it consists, how we can work with it, about the tools, the safety a little bit. All this stuff is covered in this first unit. Also, naturally, the quality and how to find out the right quality of your building straw bale. Step Unit 2 covers all the infill and prefab technique, and with infill we usually mean any kind of timber or frame construction, timber and post constructions, frame constructions. There are a lot of different techniques in Europe, and we try to focus on all these techniques. For example, here is a typical infill house in Austria, which needs naturally also a construction plan. This is what we partly do also in this unit, in Unit 2. So after you made this Unit 2, you are able to suggest or make a construction plan also for carpentry, so that they know how to build according to the infill of straw bales. This is what we usually do with the classical infill. We cover also other techniques, hybrid techniques. This is, for example, a double post system, where we show how to connect it with windows, how to connect it to the foundation and to the top beam and ring beam and the roof, and how to make the corners mainly. Then we have a lot of hybrid techniques like cut. This is also an infill technique where there's just one post, usually on the outside, but can also be on the inside, covered with boards or diagonal planks, and usually fixed with battens like this. There are also, we show all the tests for these different techniques, so that you can be safe from the structural engineering, from the statics, that all these techniques work for a limited height or amount of stories you can build with those techniques. Then we covered the topic of straw bale roofs, so straw bale infill in roofs, where we have rafters, and in between the rafters you can also insulate a roof classically with straw bales, for example. You can do it from the outside and from the inside. This is, for example, from the outside, the infill between 36 centimeter rafters. These rafters are 6 by 36, as said, or can be cycle choice, and are usually mounted in a distance of 50 centimeters, so the width of a bale. Similar to a roof, there we have also a flat roof or a ceiling for the last story, if it's really flat. This is a similar technique we also cover in this unit. Then this is the infill of the ceiling here in this case for a house also in Austria. And similar to the ceiling is the straw bale base plate, which is usually elevated and on any kind of foundation. So we show also the different options for foundations like screw foundation, strip foundation, ring foundation, or yes, we don't cover usually concrete base plates. This is an example for an elevated and ventilated screw foundation where we have about 50 centimeter space under the base plate. And then we have 36 by 6 centimeter straw bale base plate. And according to the building physics, we can cover this base plate with OSB or with boards and with tarps, and to get it windproof and airtight. This, for example, is a house built on such a screw foundation with a base plate made with straw bales or insulated with straw bales, and also the roof here in this case is filled with straw bales. Then we have in the hybrid construction also organic cut, so we can make with this cut construction with just one post also organic shapes, for example vaults or domes. Any kind of organic structures are possible, and we cover also this topic. This is another organic cut system, for example, with straight planks in the middle, as according to the initial cut system by Tom Ryven and Peitek. And we show you how to construct such a smaller, in this case, smaller house with this cut technique and the infill of the bales. Step unit 3 is covering all kind of load-bearing straw bale buildings. So this includes the small bales, standard bales, 36 by 50 in the cut, in the dimension, and 80 to 90 or 100 centimeter long, something like that. But there are variations according to the straw bale machines in your country. And we cover also the big bale load-bearing buildings, especially known from Switzerland, for example, from Werner Schmidt. And we show you all the tests made or available for this kind of techniques and how they are diagonal braced. This was in the practical course load-bearing wall, which we made, for example, in this practical unit. And this also covers rebaling or rebinding bales with special knots. It covers the compression of the straw bale walls so that they get really hard and can bear the loads of a ceiling, roof, second story, or the snow loads. And we can also play with, again, organic forms like vaults or domes made in load-bearing techniques. Step U4, unit 4, covers all kind of wrapping. With wrapping, we mean the external thermal insulation of existing buildings with straw bales or straw flakes. Straw flakes are the small parts in a bale which consist also together and are a very small part of a bale. So we can insulate with straw flakes, for example, as you see here behind any kind of cage. We show you the variations of cages which you can do with boards, with planks, with battens, with fiber boards, and so on. And naturally also the full bale wrapping, where there's a 36 centimeter external thermal insulation made of straw bales, and how you make the connections to windows and the corners and all these details. Like you see it here, sometimes these are angled windows to have the same light as before. There are simple hybrid constructions, many different constructions or techniques to fix straw bale to an existing wall, depending on the quality also of the wall. And there are a lot of materials, also natural materials we have for making those cages and insulating this space behind this board or mat or whatever you use to with straw flakes. Step unit 5 covers all kind of finishes. It's mainly clay, focuses on clay and lime and other natural, also claddings, so weather protection with wood facades, for example. But it focuses mainly on the plasters of earth plasters or clay plasters, how to work with it in manually or with a spray machine, how to define the quality, if you use the earth from the ground or if you use the ready-made big bags you can buy. You learn how to make a base plaster and a fine plaster, and then a special fine plaster, what we call Edelputze in Germany, reinforced with straw plasters, then plasters, earth material, which you can also use for rammed earth or for rammed earth floors, but also cop. Clay plasters, as I said, manually, and spray plaster. It's always fun to plaster, as you see here in this picture. And we also covered the topic of lime plasters for a facade, which are more waterproof, and how to finish those lime plasters so that they can withstand the forces of nature, especially the rain, and don't take so much rain. And then there are special plasters, different hydraulic and non-hydraulic limes, and we will introduce all these techniques to you as well in the theory, also in the practical workshops, as you see here in a practical lime render workshop. And also the finishes, so which means coloring or facades and additional wooden facades. Not in every step course, but in Austria, for example, we have some extra units. One is about installations in straw bale, because it's always a question, if you directly plastered on straw bale wall, how you can make those installations as heating systems, wall heating or floor heating systems, but especially wall heating systems, and electricity or water pipes in a straw bale wall, so that it's secure and safe, fire safety and water moisture safety in a wall like that. Step unit 6 covers building physics, which is for us mainly the topic of preventing any kind of mistakes, building mistakes, because we saw that most of the mistakes built in a house or made in a house are or have their reason in in building physics. It's about moisture, it's about fire. These are and sound, naturally. These are the main topics covered in building physics. So you learn a little bit about the background and why and how moisture can evolve in a wall, and how you can prevent it, with what measurements you can prevent moisture. And this is the number one enemy of any kind of organic materials. Step number unit 7 focuses on planning and architecture. So you will not become an architect after this unit. It's mainly that you are able to translate an architectural plan, or read an architectural plan and translate it in a construction plan, so that carpenter, woodworker is able to build a construction where a straw bale fits in. So this is what we mainly focus on, but we show you also examples of how to use the energy of the sun, solar architecture, all these topics. But it's mainly about construction plans like this, where you learn how to make and how to focus on all these details. And if you make such a plan, then you will really focus on all the details. You will get such templates in SketchUp, where you can make, with a free program, you can really make a 3D rendering, but you can also focus doing it by hand and draw your own plans or details. It's mainly that you know that you are able to do projects like that. This is a mobile trailer we did last year in the STEP course, so that you are able to plan any kind of smaller project. And it is, as said, also the possibility later on to participate or to speak with woodworkers like this. This is a straw bale construction, so this is usually what is built by woodworkers or carpenters before we come with the infill. And step number 8 covers on training, also a little bit on online training. So in times of COVID, we had to do a lot of online courses, Zoom courses. We have also the EDECO platform where we have online courses without trainers or trainer guidance. And we focus on communication, and this includes estimation, how much a straw bale house costs, so that you are able to tell the clients, okay, this will be the budget you will need if you build a straw bale house in this size. This is what you should be able to estimate quite fast, and then you should be able to make a finer calculation with the details. You will learn about that, but it's mainly about communication, so that you can sell a house to a client. If you, for example, build up a startup or work in a company for planning or for selling straw bale houses, and also for consulting clients. We have since last year, COVID time, we have the STEP online course, especially in Austria. We had much success with this online course, so you can also do this online course on ICDECO. You can book it on baubiologie.at on the ESBN's website. You have here the link for that, and also in the description of this video. And you can start with 85 euro per month to make all the courses you want. And as long as you pay, as long you can do all the 8 courses, for example. This is the cheapest version, especially for students. For grown-ups or employed people, it's about 100 or 105 euro per month, so also a quite affordable amount of money. But you can also say you want this guided with trainers and Zoom sessions and practical workshops about 4 or 5 weeks per year. You want to do it in 1 year, or you can do it in the next 2 years if you don't have so much time. So for all these steppers who have more time or less time, want to do this urgently, want to do it in a community or alone, there are possibilities with different prices, and you can look up on baubiologie.at for the STEP course and all these prices. But you can also visit the European website strawbale.training, or you just go to ESBA website strawbuilding.eu and click on the link STEP training. And then you come to this page, and then you see who are the organizations and training centers in Europe who offer these courses in this year or in next year. There are links to all these courses which are offered in Europe. Thank you for your attention, and I hope we see us maybe on a STEP training or STEP training course or online next time. Ciao.